Aron Ralston. Aron Ralston is an American mountaineer whose incredible survival story shocked the world. In April 2003, he embarked on a solo hike through Blue John Canyon in Utah. During his descent, a massive boulder shifted and pinned his right hand against the rock. Trapped with no way to free himself and no means of communication, Aron found himself in a life-threatening situation. He spent 5 days in the canyon, suffering from thirst, hunger, and despair. Drinking water in small sips, his strength quickly dwindled. Realizing that no help was coming, he made a radical decision, the hardest sacrifice for survival. Using a dull multi-tool, he amputated his own arm, cutting through bones, muscles, and tendons. Afterward, bleeding heavily, he managed to escape the canyon, walk approximately 13 kilometers, and find tourists who called for help. Aron was urgently taken to a hospital where his condition was stabilized. He continued mountaineering and inspired thousands of people with his resilience. Jose Salvador Alvarenga. Jose Salvador Alvarenga is a fisherman from El Salvador who spent 438 days lost at sea, becoming one of history's most famous survival stories. In November 2012, he set out into the Pacific Ocean on a small fishing boat with his partner, Ezequiel Cordoba. Their goal was to catch fish off the coast of Mexico, but a sudden storm struck. The boat was carried far into the ocean, leaving them at the mercy of the waves with no way to communicate with land. For the first weeks, they survived on fish, turtles, and birds, drinking rainwater and even their own urine. However, after several months, Ezequiel succumbed to hunger and thirst, leaving Alvarenga alone. He spoke to imaginary friends to keep himself sane and followed ocean currents, hoping for a miracle. In January 2014, after 14 months, he finally reached an island in the Marshall Islands, having drifted about 10,000 kilometers. Locals found him exhausted, overgrown, and barely able to walk. Upon returning to El Salvador, he shared his story and even wrote a book, 438 Days. Michael Packard. Michael Packard is an American diver and fisherman from Massachusetts who survived an unbelievable event in 2021. He was swallowed by a giant humpback whale and lived to tell the tale. On June 11, 2021, Michael was diving for lobsters off the coast of Cape Cod, as usual. He had descended about 13 meters when he suddenly felt a powerful jolt. The next moment, he was engulfed in darkness and realized he was inside a living creature. At first, he thought a shark had swallowed him, but not feeling any teeth, he understood he was inside a humpback whale's mouth. Packard was completely inside the whale, squeezed by its powerful muscles. He felt the creature moving and knew he had little air left. Seconds felt like an eternity, but Michael remained hopeful. After 30 to 40 seconds, the whale, likely realizing it had swallowed the wrong prey, surfaced and spat him out. Michael was rescued by his partner, who saw him being ejected from the water. He was rushed to a hospital where doctors diagnosed him with bruises but no serious injuries. Within days, he returned to his normal life. This story quickly became a sensation. Experts confirm that such incidents are extremely rare but possible. Whales feed by engulfing massive amounts of water and fish, and a human could accidentally be sucked in. Julian Kupka. Julian Kupka is the sole survivor of a plane crash that occurred on December 24, 1971, in the jungles of Peru. At 17, Julian was flying with her mother on Lanza Flight 508 from Lima to Pucallpa to spend Christmas with her father. However, during the flight, a severe thunderstorm struck. A lightning bolt hit the wing, and the plane disintegrated midair. Julian, still strapped to her seat, fell from 3,000 meters into the dense jungle. Miraculously, she survived, suffering only a broken collarbone, deep wounds, and a concussion. Alone in the wilderness, she remembered her biologist father's advice: follow water to find people. Barefoot, injured, and without food, she navigated through the jungle for 11 days, surviving on limited supplies found in the wreckage and collecting rainwater. On the 12th day, she discovered a woodcutter's hut, where she received first aid before being transported to a village. From there, she was evacuated by helicopter. Julianne was the only survivor out of 92 passengers. Harrison O'Keene. Harrison O'Keene never thought that an ordinary workday would turn into a real struggle for survival. On that fateful day, May 26, 2013, He was a cook on the Nigerian tugboat Jascon 4, which was on a routine mission off the coast of Nigeria. However, an unexpected storm capsized the vessel, and it quickly sank. As the ship went down, Okene found himself trapped, thrown into a tiny air pocket inside the overturned hull. In complete darkness, at a depth of about 30 meters, he was alone. All his crewmates perished, but he miraculously ended up in a pocket of air where he could breathe. The water temperature was freezing, and fear gripped his body. But Harrison did not give up. He improvised a raft from a mattress and tried to conserve oxygen. His only hope was the rescuers, who might not arrive in time. The water was rising and the air was running out. After 60 hours underwater, Okene heard a noise. It was divers dismantling the wreckage of the ship. He couldn't believe he had been found. One of the rescuers was nearly frightened when he saw a moving hand in the darkness. Okene put on an oxygen mask and was safely brought to the surface. Due to prolonged underwater exposure, his body underwent special decompression. Harrison Okene's miraculous rescue became one of the most incredible survival stories in maritime disaster history. Mauro Prosperi. Mauro Prosperi is an Italian marathon runner who miraculously survived after getting lost in the Sahara Desert during the grueling Marathon des Sables in 1994. This marathon is one of the most extreme races in the world. Participants must cover 250 kilometers under scorching heat, sandstorms, and limited water supply. Prosperi, a former Olympic athlete, was prepared for the challenge, but fate had a terrifying ordeal in store for him. On the fourth day of the race, a sudden sandstorm completely disoriented him. Instead of reaching the next checkpoint, he wandered deeper into the endless dunes. Finding himself alone in the vast desert, he realized that no help was coming. With each passing hour, the blazing sun drained his energy, and the lack of water quickly became a severe problem. For the first 3 days, he rationed his limited supplies, but soon desperation set in. With no other choice, he drank his own urine, ate small reptiles, and searched for insects to keep himself alive. As he wandered, he stumbled upon an abandoned mosque, its ancient walls standing alone against the sand. Hoping to be rescued, he waited, but days passed without any sign of life. Weakened and losing hope, Prosperi made the heartbreaking decision to end his suffering. He attempted to take his own life by cutting his wrists, but the extreme heat caused his blood to clot almost instantly, preventing him from bleeding out. This unexpected turn made him realize that he had to keep fighting. Gathering his last reserves of strength, he continued his journey. After 9 days of wandering, severely dehydrated and exhausted, he finally encountered a group of nomads. They gave him water, fed him, and led him to rescuers. By the time he was found, he had lost 18 kilograms and was barely able to stand, but he was alive. Despite his harrowing ordeal, Mauro Prosperi refused to let this experience define him negatively. After recovering, he astonishingly returned to the Marathon des Sables, determined to complete the race that had nearly taken his life.